Live from Nile Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash your hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
Patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Co-Uganda, Office of the President.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
Until now, we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
The protection of copyright and related rights is vital to the growth of the creative industry and has cultural, economic, and social implications in the transformation of the economy. This year, the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization member states will meet at Speak Resort Munyonyo to adopt the draft protocol on voluntary registration of copyright and related rights, the first ever in Africa. This will be the first protocol of copyright on our continent. Uganda will host the conference at Speak Resort Munyonyo from August 20th to 28th, 2021. Be part of this live coverage of the proceedings of the conference on the following dates. Live on your national broadcaster TV station, UBC TV. The President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will grace the opening of this diplomatic conference on Friday, 27th August 2021. Join the conversation using the hashtag Copyright Protocol. This conference is organized by Uganda Registration Services Bureau with support of the Government of Uganda and the following partners.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
Every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. You know why? Because God created marriage, and God never creates failure, and God never designs anything to fail. every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. Is your marriage struggling and you're wondering whether it will ever succeed, whether you will ever make it, whether it's even worth holding on to? You got to tune into Unlocking Marital Bliss, because right here we provide the keys to unlock the bliss in your marriage, and you will be able to succeed. We've had testimonies, and lives are changing day by day.
Marriage must be a discipline. It must not be handled like a casual thing.
As women, when we have the outward expression, even our form of respect is tied to the outward things that you do.
Some women now have working class. They don't know how to handle their husbands because the marriage has become like question and answer marriage. Do you have any tea? Don't you have hands to prepare it? Why have you come back late? Did I take your blanket? It's question and answer marriage.
Not any other place, but every Sunday, 3 p.m., right here at UBC, with the one and only Cyrus Rod, not any other.
Unlocking Marital Bliss. Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Special Friday it is as we continue. It is the 27th day of August 2021. Countdown is on. I believe some of you that work in corporate companies have already started getting your paychecks coming in, and others who have to wait until the 3 to the end of the month to get paid. Well, don't worry, it's still a few days, 4 days, and you'll get your payment. But us here on Good Morning Uganda, we give you payment in terms of giving you a special Friday, a different one from your Monday to Thursday. We bring in some music to season it a little bit and kickstart you off for the weekend. My name is Priscilla Nalwoga, and welcome yet again to Good Morning Uganda. Of course, you might see I got a microphone in front of me. I am the artist for now. Yeah, I might have 1 or 2 songs, but nevertheless, I will perform later on. But speaking of performances, we had live performances that we were showing this morning. And one of the songs done by Alicia Cara is called Scars. And scars is basically a reflection on the box that the world will put you in that will cause a bruise or a scar on your image, on your esteem, on so many parts of you that could rather be sensitive. And when she ends it, she says, but you don't have to change for the world. You can simply stay just the way you are. I want to engage with my colleagues about scars in life, really. The things that could have hurt us, and yet we have grown up to realize they mean nothing. All that matters is that you know who you are and you know what you are here for on this earth, which is called purpose. Good morning to you, Molan.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Priscilla, and a nice morning and wonderful to all our dear viewers. It is indeed our special edition for Friday here at Good Morning Uganda.
I must say you look elegant. I love the pins and the simplicity. You know, they say simplicity is elegancy. So you have done a good job.
Thank you. So do you. I think we decided to just
do the black, right?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a good Friday.
Well, Robert Kirabo is also doing the black with us with his bottoms as he joins us for Good Morning Uganda this Friday morning. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning, Priscilla. Good morning, Molen, and of course everybody who has woken up with us this Friday. It is our joy to ensure we spice up your Friday, create that mood that we know many people are missing of late because places of entertainment are closed. So we give you that feel to understand that you are out of the ordinary. It's now a Friday, so cheer up. There are so many reasons to be happy. Amidst COVID-19, the fact that you're still alive, that is one thing that you should thank God for. Either you've survived or you've not contracted COVID-19. So cheer up. In everything, there is a moment to cheer up. Priscilla talked about the scars, and it just reminded me of my childhood memory. My grandmother and grandfather were part of the East African revival. They call Abarokora Abazukufu. So when my grandmother passed on, the group came and they were so happy. They were kind of jubilating. She's gone to heaven. They are not crying. Praise the Lord. So I was in P4 by then. And what came to my mind was like, grandma has died. We are crying. We are in pain. But this so-called barokole bazukufu, they're just excited. Asinkanye mukama. And I was like, oh. But it's only when I grew up that I understood their bit of it. But it took me for some good time. Actually, I told my father, I will never love those people. When Granny died, all they were doing, they were happy, praise the Lord, and all that. So I had that for a long time. But I learned that sometimes what you're holding on to yourself, even the people you think offended you, are not aware. So it only burdens you. You develop more wrinkles, age very quickly. But when you let it go, there's freedom in letting go.
The scar that I had was a very interesting one. It was about self-image. I have a nose that has a bump in it. Yeah, so when I was younger, I felt like the bump was so big, and when persons look at you from the sideways, it would actually twitch and feel like everyone is looking at my sharp point of the nose. And it was my scar. I was very insecure. I had low self-esteem regards that. And even when I was still younger, my brothers would tease me a lot about my dental design. But today, these are things that I'm proud of, because in high school, we had a team of young women that came through to empower us, especially regarding self-image. And so they clustered us in groups. And then in the group, there was a girl that I always looked up to. She was senior in class, and she also said that she didn't like her nose, yet in my eyes she was perfect. Like, she was beautiful. And then she said she didn't like her nose and she didn't like her lips, and thinking, are you kidding me? You are beautiful. So when I realized that, oh, I'm not alone, these are all just things that we have actually accepted to believe, and if we unbelieve them, we can actually become better persons. So I unbelieved my belief, and today I enjoy my smile. Molen Kenyan, what has been your scar?
Your smile is a good one, so I think it's good too. My scar, growing up, in school. So while I was in my O-level, I used to be little in class. Like, there were big girls, and then I was always the small one. So to some extent, I felt like I didn't belong, because like other girls are big and they're grown-ups, but for me, I was just always the small one. So wherever there would be maybe things to do, and I see the big girls going, I would feel so small. I'm like, okay, I wish I was older. And for some time, I was just struggling with that, wanting to grow old. I remember even wanting for myself to like grow boobs at that age, so that I can look older. But then with time, I realized it's okay. Besides, I got time to concentrate on my books then, and it was a good thing. So I think that is my scar. Maybe there are more to come, but again, like the lyrics from Kara's song, scars only make us look more beautiful.
Well, she has put it very lightly. Scars only make us beautiful. But more so for you who's catching up with us on Good Morning Uganda, wherever it is that you have woken up with us, your scar is only for beauty, and God transforms you in any way as long as you surrender your challenges there. Now, speaking of this morning, the sun is coming up, and I know that it's coming up in PG. I know it's coming up in the tourism city. We have our friend from the tourism city. We would like to see the sunrise from the tourism city. So wherever you are, city, town, and your village, just send us a photo of your Friday sunrise this morning on the number that is appearing on your screen on WhatsApp, and we will be able to check out and enjoy the Pearl of Uganda together. Now, speaking of which, in the Pearl of Africa, we have actually had so many things that have transformed in the last 24 hours. Stories that have caused you to actually talk, question, and maybe think that perhaps some people in positions of responsibility are doing their jobs, others are not doing their jobs. I had a story that I'll share later on about insecurity and vis-a-vis the presidential speech on security and human rights. But for now, let's first get into the last 24 hours for local stories and international stories.
Talking about the last hours, we begin with a situation in Greater Masaka. Priscilla, we once had a famous name called Chidawalime, and that was because of what was happening by then. But it seems a repeat something is happening in Greater Masaka. And yesterday, the members of parliament could not let things just go. They had to ensure that they cause attention to security, where we saw legislators from Greater Masaka yesterday gave the Minister for Security, Major General Jim Muhwezi, 12 hours to deploy security in Masaka to end a series of killings. In the last 2 months, machete-wielding assailants have killed 20 people, with 2 in the last 2 days. Another person was hacked to death yesterday in Masaka, bringing the number of people killed in a similar manner to 20 in Greater Masaka. The situation has put Masaka sub-region on tension, including members of parliament who addressed the press at parliament yesterday. The leader of opposition in parliament, Matthias Simpuga, who represented Nyendo Mukungwe division, expressed concern over Great Masaka. They have given Security Minister Major General Jim Muhwezi 12 hours to deploy security presence, or else they mobilize constituents to protect themselves. They dismissed allegations tagging the spate of terror to land wrangles, saying the problem is beyond that. The leader of opposition accuses police in Masaka for releasing suspects arrested in connection to the murder without being charged.
Yes, away from that, we look at Lokech's body arriving in Padel. Now, the body of Major General Paul Lokech has been received at his ancestral district of Padel. The UPDF helicopter touched at the Archbishop Flynn Secondary School playground at around 11:30 a.m. yesterday amidst traditional dances and wailing residents. Now, a session was convened at Paipil Primary School to eulogize the fallen son of the soil, where councillors from 8 districts of Acholi sub-region requested government to grant the fallen deputy IGP a posthumous rank promotion to a full general. Now, the helicopter carrying the late's remains touched down at Flynn Sub-Secondary School at around 11:30 a.m. amidst wailing from the residents. Now, the UPDF deputy spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Ronald Kakulungu, told UBC about the program, and also Padel woman MP Achiro Paskamenya called for calm. The UPDF funeral van then led a convoy carrying the casket through the streets of Padel town, where locals stood along the streets in grief. Now, the 8th district of Acholi and Gulu City councillors later convened a session at Paipil Primary School. Chief Justice Alphonse Owinyi Dolo and Major General Otema Charles Awany attended the session, whereas the Acholi leaders also requested government to grant the fallen Deputy Inspector General of Police a posthumous rank promotion to a full general and have a road named after him in Padel Town Council. Now, the burial is scheduled to take place today, Friday, the 27th of August 2021, at his ancestral home in Paipil village.
And may his soul rest in eternal peace. Well, away from that, we now move to a cartel that is getting money through testing of COVID-19, where Parliament has established a syndicated illegal cartel testing COVID-19 at Entebbe International Airport and are privately owned by officials in the Ministry of Health. The cartel have agents inside the airport who use the government facility at the airport to round up people at arrival of immigration points and are whisked to beaches along the shores of Lake Victoria, where they are subjected to COVID-19 tests upon paying a mandatory fee of $60 or $70 per person and take more than 4 hours to produce the results. Reports presented on the floor of Parliament by Soy County Member of Parliament Fazil Bid Kasozi indicate that the money collected from the COVID-19 tests is not remitted to the government treasury. It ends up in pockets of individuals running the cartels at the airport with the knowledge of some officials at the Ministry of Health. However, Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng told Parliament that she's going to investigate the alleged cartels and will report back to Parliament in a week's time. Despite of the minister's assurance to Parliament, the whistleblower Soy County Member of Parliament moved Parliament to demand for a quick investigation by the President to bust the cartel using State House Anti-Corruption Unit to unmask officials at the Ministry of Health and private players in the syndicated cartel at Entebbe International Airport.
Now, more coming in from Padel District. Security forces have arrested an identified man who is suspected to have been assembling bomb pieces in a guest house in Padel town as the body of Major General Paul Lokech was being eulogized. The man was arrested at Atimicha Guest House, which is located on plot 6 and 8 Kanugura Road, less than 2 kilometers from the burial ground. He was found with gadgets including half a basin bicycle ball bearings, unidentified powder and liquid. The security forces, including the Uganda Police Forces, UPDF and CMI, cordoned off the guest house, with bomb experts arriving to ascertain security threats in the area ahead of today's burial for safety of mourners. Now, security has denied to reveal the identity of the suspect. Well, that is quite bad coming from that area. Priscilla, take us more in our international stories.
On our international stories, we do still give you an update daily regarding Afghanistan and what's taking place there. We'll take a trip to the USA and back to the African continent, looking at Mali. For the Afghanistan situation, currently 13 U.S. service members and at least 60 Afghans have been killed in 2 bombing attacks outside Kabul's airport, according to the Pentagon and Afghanistan's Ministry of Public Health. The deadly blasts came as the United States and other Western countries raced to complete a massive evacuation of their citizens and Afghan allies following the Taliban takeover of the country. An official with Afghanistan's Ministry of Public Health told CNN yesterday that more than 60 Afghan people were dead and 140 wounded. 18 U.S. service members were injured in addition to the 13 dead, said Captain Bill Urban of U.S. Central Command. U.S. President Joe Biden, speaking from the White House, called the troops heroes and said he was outraged as well as heartbroken. "We will not forgive, we will not forget, we will hunt you down and make you pay," he warned the perpetrators of the attack. ISIS in Khorasan, known as ISIS-K, has claimed that an ISIS militant carried out the suicide attack, but provided no evidence to support this claim. For the USA states welcomes competition and does not seek conflict with Beijing, but will speak up on issues like maritime disputes in the southern part of China Sea. Vice President Kamala Harris was declared as she concluded a trip in Southeast Asia. In visits to Singapore, Vietnam, Harris charged China with bullying its neighbors in the region, triggering sharp rebukes from Beijing, which accused of the U.S. for meddling in regional affairs and disrupting the peace. Harris's 7-day trip to Singapore and Vietnam is part of a broader U.S. strategy to take on China globally. Her visit, however, was eclipsed by the deadly events in Afghanistan and the ongoing withdrawal of U.S. troops. China, Vietnam, Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan lay claim to parts of the disputed waters of the South China Sea, which is crossed by vital shipping lanes and contains gas fields and rich fishing grounds. In meetings with Vietnamese leaders on Wednesday, Harris said China's bullying and excessive maritime claims in the waters should be challenged and offered U.S. support to enhance Vietnam's maritime security, including more visits by U.S. warships to the country. On Tuesday, we had the president being sworn in. On Wednesday, we had a former president passing on. And today, we had Mali's former Prime Minister Bubeye Maïga having been arrested for his role in the purchase of a presidential plane during the rule of deposed President Ibrahim Abubakar Keita, his lawyer said. The exact reason for the arrest was not clear, but it was related to Mali's purchase of a jet in 2014 for $40 million US. The Justice Ministry did not respond to a request for comment, but critics at the time claimed that the Keita administration overpaid and that the deal was corrupt. It led to a political scandal that hurt Keita's presidency and spooked lenders. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank froze financing to the Western African country as a result. It was not clear what evidence prosecutors have against Maïga or why he was arrested now. He served as Prime Minister from 2017 to 2019 and is seen as a possible candidate in the presidential vote that interim authorities promise to hold next year following Keita's removal as president last August. The transition is being led by Assimi Goïta, the Malayan Kano, who led the coup and is now the interim president. Well, we've had it from our international scenes, but I think the story that has captured my mind and triggered my thoughts is US's meddling in other people's business. Vice President Kamala Harris having her visit to Vietnam, Singapore, among other places, and stating that China shouldn't actually have that much control over the South China Sea. I think this is what they call colonialism in part 2, right?
Well, and the funny thing is, after they have done that, then at one time or the other, we are brought into the picture. When they go, sometimes start their wars for their own interests, then our big brothers come to the young brothers for assistance because of that. But I think one thing we must accept is that countries are independent and they have the right to exercise this. This big brotherhood sometimes creates problems, because where I come from, we have a saying, if we deeply understand why do these people inject billions of their monies, is it based on humanitarian
and they're
grounds?
willing to send US Marine to that particular territory,
yes, lose
to help
their
in
own,
ports.
lose their own. So what is their interest point? What is the rates of return? And second, when you look at sometimes the weapons, today you're talking about the Tarabans, Priscilla, and the world is talking about this people. But the guns they are using are not made there. So before we castigate these people, where do they buy the weapons and who earns money from these weapons? Yes.
I think the bigger question would be that at such a time as this, what would be US's exact point of interest in these visits? Because there's always an underlying, official visits are always there to do underground scouting. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Molen Kenyana, what do you make of this particular story?
I think like you said, it's meddling, but also there is good meddling. There is when you see something that is not right, and you're trying to call them up on that.
But
so I feel like the vice president is trying to call them out on what should be done right. And it shouldn't be taken for granted. If she comes out and says, okay, this is not good, China cannot keep doing this, take control, they are not going to do something about it, but they are concerned. And I think we've seen this even throughout most the US ambassadors. They will come out and say, we are concerned. So they always put out that concern in I think in a move to just call out some countries on certain stuff, but not necessarily that they are willing to get in and probably show their power. I do think that the president is only trying to be concerned, for sure.
Molen, like do you remember someone who said you cannot lecture me about democracy on the African perspective of it? So it's always, why are you concerned?
Yes, what's your interest?
What is your interest?
That's true.
Can't it just be humanitarian concern? Someone is concerned.
You reach an extent of losing your own, spending trillions just because of goodwill. What is the rate of return? I think the world has been blinded to think that there's a superpower somewhere that is so loving, so concerning, and they have to preside over. But how much has the world invested in actually finding out what is the rate of return? Let me tell you, one American's death is very valuable. So if you reach a point and they'll tell you you've lost over 1,000 soldiers, this number of Marines, hi goodness, what interest is that in terms of human rights? Anyway, that is something we have also to...
Okay, this conversation has made me hungry, not for food in particular, but for music. Yes, it's Special Friday, and you know, the usual drill is that we actually spice it up with some music. So, speaking of which, I am the artist for the day.
You want me to join you for the singing? I could
please.
just...
What song do you want me to suna for?
Oh, let me see. What song? Should we do some Justin Bieber? I mean, mic check.
Mic check.
It should be fun.
Don't matter.
No, we're just going to sing. Hit it. Go ahead.
All right, let us get the song we're going to sing, and we'll be right back after this break. It's still Special Friday.
Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The protection of copyright and related rights is vital to the growth of the creative industry and has cultural, economic and social implications in the transformation of the economy. This year, the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization member states will meet at Speak Resort Munyonyo to adopt the draft protocol on voluntary registration of copyright and related rights, the first ever in Africa. This will be the first protocol of copyright on our continent. Uganda will host the conference at Speak Resort Monyonyo from August 20th to 28th, 2021. Be part of this live coverage of the proceedings of the conference on the following dates. Live on your national broadcaster TV station, UBC TV. The President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will grace the opening of this diplomatic conference on Friday 27th August 2021. Join the conversation using the hashtag Copyright Protocol. This conference is organized by Uganda Registration Services Bureau with support of the Government of Uganda and the following partners.
Easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
Communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
One day, I know there's a time for me to expire. Before I do, I got to inspire. That's why I try to aspire to be hard as a rock with fire. Wali anda bako na damu suwi Jari, Lord, I pray you make me a fountain of hope. Make me the rock with ropes to pull up those without hope. Chovola wasisera Buli byemba wasikoa Munange sikoa Nebwe nyimba sikoa Inze sisera Buli byemba wasikoa Munange sisera Nebwe nyimba sikoa One day chintu chijja kuguka, one day chintu chijja kunyuma, one day Africa ndijiyuya, one day kagrami ndikaleta, one day egulu lijja kwegula, chitangala cha kama kondere gavuge, abantu bamukama bambuke, bazibe balaba balema batambule bafu bazukire wakati mu kutya judgment eyite olimpulirira chovola banga sikoa nkera kumachesuka nenzisamba nevukamira kumavivi nemusaba nkulembere inze sisera mbuli byembawa sisera munange sikoa newanyimba sikoa insikoa buli byembawa sikoa munange sisera newanyimba sikoa. Sisera mbuli byembawa sikoa munange sikoa newe nyimba sikoa one day mulinjogerako one day mulinjigirako.
That's a very interesting song. He started by saying Fumba, then Siko, what? I just didn't. I wanted to hear something like Nsiri's, but no series. It is Good Morning Uganda Special Friday, and our artist for the week is finally with us. He goes by the name Baguma Andereya. He's a son of the soil, and we're so excited to see him here. And believe me, the art that he crafts here is magnificent. He's actually composing a song, singing a song, playing instruments, and being a producer at the same time. But speaking of which, the kind of music he does is fusion, Afro-fusion kind of music, which we like to listen to here on the African continent. People like Felix would understand this kind of music because it's the sound of the Oliver Mutukuzi, but you know, the new generation of Oliver Mutukuzi, possibly. Good morning to you, Andereya.
Good morning.
How are you?
All right.
Good to have you.
Good to have you too.
So I'm quite perplexed by the whole display, first of all, of your craft. It's very interesting. You have 2 microphones, and I kept asking myself, why does he need 2 microphones? So you told me that you sing and you back yourself up at the same time in a live performance. How does that even work?
Yeah, apparently I have a guy here, I call him Kabacha. Kabacha can do anything I command him to do. So it's a loop station, so I loop.
Kabacha is a Uganda word?
Kabacha is a Runyankore name.
To mean?
which comes from Abasa. It's Ebo. It's Ebo. So
Nabasa. Okay. All right.
So there's a brother of mine called Kabacha down in Kashari. So he talks a lot. So I decided to name this guy Kabacha.
All right. So let's talk about your music journey. I know many of people actually that are so passionate about music in their older stage could have started with their young stages. Probably you were singing in the bathroom and you realized, I can go on with this, and then someone held you by the hand and took you on. Let's talk about your start to music. When did you feel introduced to music?
I think I knew I was going to be a singer when I started talking. I think I started singing when I started talking. But the passion in me grew when I started participating in what is normally referred to as MDD, music, dance and drama, in primary and high school. And then later on, when I was in Form 1, I started learning the guitar playing. And then...
in the school you went to, there were guitars?
No.
So how did you get
at home? There was a friend of mine who was in church then, and he used to bring it home, so we would learn. He taught me my first 3 chords. And then I had to pursue a degree in music from Makerere University.
All right, MDD. Some would call it Musiru Dada Dada. Yet
that's a
it's music, dance, and drama. Again, it goes back to the fact that people initially were not appreciating local artistry and the fact that people could actually go and study to be the best performers. And so when we have young generations coming through and actually putting education to music, it actually shapes up. Which was your best subject in school?
You mean high school?
Yeah, okay, let's go with high school.
Or you mean?
Let's go with high school.
High school. I think my best subject would be, what was my best subject?
Okay, was it an arts? Were you better at sciences or better at arts? Since you do songwriting, literature?
I was good in literature when I was in high school, yes. But I loved some biology.
You did?
I did love biology, but I think that's another story.
Okay, what did you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be a musician.
Really?
Yes.
From when you were a young person?
I knew I was going to be a singer when I was in P3.
Wow. When you told your parents about this, what was their reaction?
They were, of course, not that supportive, but they knew I was talented. Though they didn't do so much to push the talent. And yeah, but I'm here.
And they're proud of you right now.
And they are. My mom is proud of me.
She keeps advertising you to her friends. Hey, my son is there. Yeah.
They are watching, yeah. Right
okay, all right. So we had, S6 results coming back, but we have kids that are out of school. Have you, in this whole lockdown for students, have you been able to actually pour out your gift into another person, teaching them something, the way someone taught you a guitar? Have you been able to do that to another?
I have taught.
What has that experience been like?
It was an awesome experience. I love teaching. I love giving what I know, because I was also, someone shared what they knew with me. A lot of people have mentored me, so I also want to mentor others.
Okay. All right. There was a song that we were talking that inspired us to have a conversation about scars. It really shows us that even if we have scars, we're still human beings and we're the best. And the best inspiration right now would be our Ugandan team in Paralympics. They may have disabilities, but their disabilities have taken them to the Paralympics in Tokyo. What has been your scar in your musical journey?
My scar is...
All scars.
My scar would be maybe finance. Lack of finance and maybe lack of support, but really I think I have learned to face such challenges. So I have not had so much trouble in terms of I'm not disabled, so I don't have so much scars apart from financial problems, which of course finance cannot stop my dream.
Okay, all right. You have an album to your name right now, and it's called Andereya. The one song when I first listened to that album was Son of a President.
Yes.
First, talk to us about Son of a President.
So Son of a President, I was doing a project with then it was a poetry show.
Okay.
I've forgotten the name. Oh God.
Here in Uganda?
Yes,
okay.
Here in Uganda.
All right.
And it was by Farouk, and the show was about who you are, what are you. So I was tasked to write a song telling people about what I am. So I had always had this idea of trying to tell my homies back then who used not to believe in me
that you've arrived, you're the son of a president.
That I am
now.
here.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
So I had to write this song, and the president in this is not the actual president, but I meant God.
Okay, so you have to clarify, because this is a national broadcaster.
I know.
So son of which president?
God. The presidents of all presidents.
Okay, son of God,
yeah,
son of the president,
I'm
most
not
high.
some Waike something.
Okay, but nevertheless, you're still a muzukuru.
Yeah, I am.
In that regard.
Yes, I am.
So, can we have a listen to this song, Son of a President?
Okay. As you wish.
As we get ready for Son of the President, some of you have sent us your messages. Good morning, UBC. This is Solomon Musemeza. Thanks for the morning show. I'm on right now, and my brother Andereya is just something else. Well, thank you so much, Solomon, for waking up with Andereya and Good Morning Uganda. We do have Collins that has sent us the sunrise from Soroti. And wow, the sunrise in Soroti is actually having red and orange effects. We shall later on actually have a picture of that sunrise. We also do have a message here that has been sent in by Dennis Khan, and you're simply saying hello and good morning to you, UBC. Well, good morning to you, Khan, as we get into the Son of the President, done to you originally by Afro artist Andereya Baguma.
Son of a president, don't chasula my local residency. The woman you tonzala, I dream big and I got a lot of confidence. Seba on a mansion in Gaya de Gola Bakatia, Chasuledi Mugeto. He who sits in me is the King of Kings. So I worry none cause I know he's got it all. I'm so big, so rich, so VVIP. About the time I integrate. Oh yo yenze, I'm a son of a president. Yenze, ninze, in a local residency. Yenze, oh yo yenze, yenze, nyowe. I'm afraid you might be shocked if I told you that I am not poor at all. Kubaka fana nyoka teleke cause I'm sure with time moja kubato chantegera. Ndi mwana wa mutindo satsanira nalonde wakatonda gwa wakana siku kayanya Yesu rali kukwata koja kujulira oyo yenze I'm a son of a president yenze ninze in a local residence ninze oyo yenze Seba I speak good English. Siringa bali abajoteke vijoteke. Mukama yansomesa I hold a degree. I'm so intelligent yet so talented. Mukama nkwebaza wampa kukiriza bana abazabye nkola manyi balikiriza. Abo balikiriza. Son of a president. Son of a president. Son of a president. Son of president. Oh yo yenze. Son of a president. Yenze. Ninze. Son of a president. Ninze. Son of a president. I'm the son of a president. Don't just mu local residency. Son of a president. Don't just mu local residency.
Okay, all right. So what is your local residence, Josula?
Right now? Do you want me to reveal it?
Yes.
Okay, Lubia.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I thought Mchiembe because I had someone say, that is Baguma from Mchiembe.
Yeah, that's a song as well. Andereya
Mchiembe. Okay, we'll get into that song. But at the end of the day, your song has caused me to actually ask, what has been your inspiration on this music journey for you?
My inspiration is I aspire to inspire before I expire.
Okay.
So I work to change. I want to send off positive vibes, positive inspirations. I want to tell anyone who is out there thinking they can't make it that they can.
Okay, all right. Which performances have you done? Which stages have you been on? I know that you have actually had local performances that you have done, or concerts that you've been on, also international invites that you've had.
Yeah.
and you said that you also bring your Grammy home.
Yeah.
Hey.
Someday.
Someday. Okay.
So I've been privileged to perform on several festivals, like Power Rhythm Music Festival. I've performed with I performed at Akadop. I won. I performed. How did I say it?
You composed?
No, I contested. Is that the right word?
Yes. So you participated in the Penda Song Contest, and you actually came out as the winner.
Yes.
You walked away with 10 million shillings.
Yeah.
First of all, some money. Is it still there?
That was 2019.
2019. Okay. So first of all, when you entered that contest, why did you enter that contest?
Why did I enter that contest? I needed people to know me. I needed people to. That's what I've always been doing. I always move out there. So I don't want to be a bedroom singer all my lifetime.
Okay.
So I needed people to know me. And
okay. So when you got the cash prize, eventually you had the 10 million shillings. Did you buy a car?
No.
Did you make an investment? What did you use the money for?
I invested.
Or did you put a ring on it? Some people, when they get money, they immediately
put a ring on it.
Put a ring
that's
on
a wise decision. But I didn't do it.
Okay, what did you do?
I had to invest back in my music. That's when I released my album. That's when I had a show at the National Theatre, and it was fully sponsored by myself.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow. Which is rarely something you hear, that an artist has fully sponsored their own concert or show that they have put up. So kudos for you. Good for you. What's the future of Andereya Baguma musically?
The future of Andereya Baguma is bigger than what anyone else might think about Andereya Baguma. I'm doing more music, more projects. Currently I'm working on another album, and I'm sure we will make it to what I've just said. That one day we'll go there.
All right. So by the time you went for a song contest, the idea, I think, would be that you actually would want to participate in more competitions to grow your exposure and also your craft. So what are the other contests that you intend to participate in? Because the Grammy is not going to come from the skies and heaven, please, no.
Yeah, but the Grammy does not come from being a contestant in many competitions.
No, but you see, you learned things when you went for that song contest.
Of course.
You produced an album after that, so it had impact on you.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't plan on going for another
We have South Africa's Got Talent, you know.
Yeah, I don't plan on becoming a competition singer all my lifetime.
Okay. All right.
That was a stepping stone.
A stepping stone. Yeah. Okay. All right. So at the end of the day, 10 years down the road, what should you have achieved?
What should I have achieved? In 10 years, I want to have mentored other people like me. 10 years, I have to. When I say mentor, because I've been mentored before by the late Assassin Anita, who we are working on her music right now. It's coming out, an album called Beautiful Love, and she, if you look into her life, she has mentored very many musicians here, prominent and talented professional musicians. And so I would love to. I think my success is not the posh cars, and no, I think success is showing love to the world and inspiring others and developing yourself as well.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 years down the road, I must At least.
All right. At least for this next song, we don't have to wait 10 years down the road. We can get the next song right now. Many of you are still enjoying Baguma here, Andereya full with the music. Good morning from Kasanda District. This is Muhozi for President. Don Raben. You are inspiring people to also believe that they're presidents in their own territories. And then we also do have a message coming in from Keith Mugjenyi. And you're saying you're enjoying the show. Really proud of Brother Baguma. Big up, man. Okay, all right.
Thank you, bro Keith.
There's a whole brotherhood going on around here. It is UBC Special Friday, and we continue watching UBC. Thanks for the show. I like Andereya's voice. This is Dennis from Chotera. Dennis from Chotera, thank you so much. Yeah, the voice is actually very interesting, and the fact that he sings and backs himself up, he's a one-man show. So I need to check out that concert. It was here, one-man show on that concert. Moses from Koboko. No, it's Moses from Dokolo. Yes, Moses from Dokolo. Good morning, people of Uganda, and thanks for the show. Well, thank you so much, Moses, also for being with us. Presenter, you look fly in black. Thank you so much. And you're saying, praise the Lord, Baguma. That's a great talent, bro. Dreams are not always about money, but the relationship you keep building that stirs up and keeps you moving. Son of President is surely amazing. And where can I find it? This is Arthur. Okay, so answer Arthur's question and then you'll do the song. But good morning, Uganda. Special Friday does continue here. We're going to be having Molen Kenyana with Weather Nature, and then we will be having our Good Morning Uganda agenda. The Friday is here, a roundup of all the stories that are coming through, and it's what's coming up immediately after. Sports update is also here, a lot of action coming into the weekend. Uganda Cranes is in Ethiopia preparing for a friendly. September is finally here. The pressure is on. Ruben Pima Chibidango will be giving us those details, but we're still waiting on your sunrise pictures. So Arthur, Dennis, we are waiting for your sunrise pictures on the very same WhatsApp number. Andereya giving us yet another musical ballad. But answer Arthur's question first.
Yes, Arthur, you can find my music anywhere, like digital music stores, Spotify,
Spotify,
iTunes, any music.
All right.
Digital store. So this is me and you off that album Andereya. Yeah.
Okay.
So bulungi, like bees and flowers, like strings on a guitar, strings on a guitar. We need to get along, so we live in harmony. Tomukuba lubale, tomutema lubale, oyo muganda oyo denga ye mucholi, nga goli muganda. Today walieri, nga neighbor aba muganda o, nga owulire chikona. Oduka misindo mtase. We need to get together. We need to stick together. We need to get together. It's me and you to start afresh. It's me and you to start afresh. Abayimbi tuyimba ku mukwano naye siraba mukwano ng'abantu beetema nga batuuze beesala. Abawala babawamba, abakazi babawamba, abaana babasaddaaka, abafumbo beesala ye lwaki tulinga baawuba. Tuddeyo waneeri nga neighbor abamuganda wo nga wowulira ekikoona oduka misindo mutaase. We need to get together. We need to stick together. We need to get together. Me and you to start afresh. It's me and you to start afresh, afresh. It's me and you to start the journey again and face the reality. It's me and you to embrace each other and love our neighbor. Tweyagale, twesute, twekume, fe tweyagale, leka tweyagale, twesute, twekume, afe twekume. It's me and you to start afresh. It's me and you to start afresh. 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 Me and you to start afresh.
Just like that.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
5 for 5, 5 times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5, 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Center mobile app. Click Center on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more using Center Mobile, Center Visa, and Center Agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 5 for 5 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank, Centenary Bank, is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kuggwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it's Special Friday and we are making your Friday special, spicing up your Friday with a bit of music. You and me, Andereya, Baguma, doing it, and of course you're expecting more of that. But it's also time we try to look at stories that have made headlines throughout the week. And the team is ready. Ivan Kahwa, most welcome this morning, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Kirabo. Good morning to you.
Good morning. And the lady, usually referred to as the moralist, with us, Rachel Takari. I just love the blue and white. You look gorgeous this morning.
Thank you.
Well, we'll begin looking at some of the stories that made headlines this week. And I don't know how your week was, but just in a minute or two, let me have your highs and lows of this week.
Well, this week has been so-so, I guess. There have been a number of happenings. Of course, the towering stories, the demise of the late Lokech. There have been the Afghan arrivals. There have been the teacher vaccinations. I think it's been loaded with activity, not necessarily activity that sort of is ground-shattering in any way. It's been an average week.
Okay. Yes, Ivan, the week.
My week has been okay. We've been executing tasks, but it's a sad moment for us as a country for the passing on of General Lokech. To me, it has really been a low. I got the news when I'm in Luwero, where the Prime Minister, they were consecrating some priests and deacons. So that's why the news phoned me, and I had put some batteries on the table and I had to forget them because I was really shocked about it. But later I got them. I already spoke to him personally as a journalist, and he was really an outstanding soldier. I believe other officers will emulate that. To me, that was my law. And then, of course, the high, we're talking about the Afghans. We've already had some into the country, and we need to look at the way forward on how to accommodate them.
Well, the general will be buried today. That is in his home district, Padel, on the ancestral grounds. And, well, all we can say is, may his soul rest in eternal peace, a man of action, but with few words. My week has also been fair. There's been so much activity, but I think for me the law is reports coming in from Parliament regarding the COVID-19 relief, where you find that a person got 5 times that's about 500,000. Then the would-be beneficiaries will hear some that were meant to be are not the ones. And I'm wondering, what are we going to perfect? What are we going to perfect? So that is one thing that comes to my mind. But we'll begin with looking at the vaccination of teachers, which kicked off in Kampala. And we expect to have at least 550,000 teachers vaccinated at the end of it all. Kampala is looking at 20,000. That includes teaching and non-teaching staff. I'll begin with you, Takali. Vaccines have been scarce, though we expect more to come in around October to December. We expect the 18 million, we expect the 9 million. This whole exercise, teachers' priority.
I think it's a good thing, because in the end, the ministry has been struggling with how to reconcile whether to lean more heavily on dealing with the students or the teachers or both. But I think at the end of the day, they came to a realization that Uganda will not be able to cater to everyone at the same time. So focusing on teachers, having come to a conclusion that youngsters are generally not severely affected by the disease. Of course, some are affected severely, but not that many. So they came to a realization that emphasis needs to be placed on the teachers getting their jab. And as we speak, we're edging towards 300,000 who have received either one or both. It's a decent figure, considering that the aim is to have at least all the 550 vaccinated, 50,000 vaccinated at the end of the day. And as you know, they're using the Chinese Sinovac vaccine. And as of yesterday, China announced that another 300,000 are on the way, an initiative from the Chinese government. I think it's a nod towards them. The Chinese are acknowledging that Uganda is really trying hard. Of course, there have been many donations along the way. But I think this is the first decisive effort towards doing something about reopening schools. It cannot delay very much longer.
Well, if you're a teacher and you're due for your second dose, you're going to get AstraZeneca vaccine in case you got your first. And that is after a spell of 12 weeks, about 3 months, then you go get your second jab. But if you're getting for the first time, then you're going to be privileged to get from, that is the Sinopharm vaccine that is manufactured by them. Ivan, one of the things in terms of vaccination, now it's a requirement, but it's no longer voluntarily, because it is a requirement for you to go back to teach. So looking at the mix of this, first and foremost, have we had enough sensitization, created more awareness for the teachers? Because we've had a number of initiatives in this country, but what causes the problem is people don't do them for the right reason. For example, you're right, you know, a border will have a helmet, see a traffic officer put it on. So have we tried to ensure that it's not just a requirement, but people understand why they should and the health benefits?
Kirabo, if you remember when we were in the first lockdown, as government was sensitizing people and preaching, sensitization has been made. And there is a category of people that you need a certain level of sensitization. For example, teachers, do you need to spend a month sensitizing them on radio, TV, or meeting them? These are learned people. Even 2 days, 3 days are enough for as long as you can reach out to them.
But you have medics that have shunned.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. If our intention was to reopen schools, you remember when we said teachers, health workers, soldiers are the key priority. Let's ask ourselves what happened. What should have been the priority in this case? Because more children at home compared to maybe the security, you get. But for the health workers, it's understandable. They are supposed to deal to counter the disease. So I have a different view in terms of the vaccination. Kirabo, if these teachers are vaccinated, fine, they are going to be immune, but it does not mean they are no longer carriers of the disease. It is quite critical. Look at the basic starting point of the education system, the strongest level, that is nursery level up to P7. It is very critical. You're building an individual into someone who can be appreciated in society. So if you have all teachers vaccinated and these teachers are carriers, but you have students who are not vaccinated, to me that raises a very big question. Meaning, should we take our kids to school simply because all the teachers are vaccinated? Remember, FDA, WHO endorsed the use of Pfizer, ages between 12 and above, but still it is recommended under emergency situations. So these are all scientific facts that have been written and you can read them anywhere. So it raises a little bit of questions. I think if this was the case, if our community, if our children were vaccinated with the Pfizer, though I have my reservations on that, then most probably it means if the students and teachers back to school and you well out, then I think the studies can resume in that regard. But realistically, I am also seeing we shall vaccinate teachers, but as well relay fears from the parents that I cannot take my kid because he or she is not vaccinated. They are still using public means to access schools, not that they are going to be confined in boarding sections and etc. So I think government should as well, as they are vaccinating teachers, it is a good move, it is a good thing. And no one, I believe anyone who is against it may be having their own issues. It's a good thing, but government needs to sit back and plan accordingly that now how do we cater and ensure that the students who are going to be taught by these teachers are actually safe at school.
Well, I remember the First Lady, I think she spoke on Sunday, urging also students 18 and above to go for vaccination. But there's also research that has proven most of the infants, because they usually fall sick of these respiratory diseases, coughs, flus, that their bodies later on develop an immune system that even when affected with COVID may not go to these severe forms. I think that is one of the things that we need to get more of this research and also ensure that, yes, it's not only teachers, but even the students, because when we remember recently when school closed, you find that some infested areas were a result of those that have been in school. Students came back with COVID and the grandmothers, the grandfathers, those with low immune system or comorbidities didn't make it. But the students from school are the ones that cause these problems. So we have to, yes, like you said, be sure if we reopen because they are vaccinated, how do we factor in this? Well, another interesting story this week was finally that we had about 51 Afghan refugees arrive in the country. Takali, one of the things here, this is goodwill. Goodwill on the side of Ugandans. It is something that is really very good and humanitarian grounds, but there are some questions that are coming up. People are wondering, how much can we take? And really, are we ready to take more?
It is not goodwill. It is political sense and financial prudence. There will be benefits that come with this. In political terms, it will raise your profile on the international scene. It will put away some skeletons that we've been struggling with. The negative publicity that has been piling over the last few months. It is a good thing in PR terms. It is not very much humanitarian. That is accidental, I must say. When many of these people, I think they say, they will be hosted in hotels around here. Do the hotels have the capacity? Of course they do. People have not been visiting these hotels for a long time. Are they up to par? Yes, they are. We are ready to host CHOGM, and our capacity has been good for quite a while. Do we need this at this time? Yes, we do. Our economy is struggling. So from that point of view, it is a prudent move, any way you see it. Like I said, the fact that these people are not too many. 2,000 is not a very big number. And considering the fact that it's fully underwritten by the United States in particular, we will not incur that much collateral damage in any way. These people are transients. They're on the way somewhere else. I said before that there's nothing for these people in Uganda. They will not seek to stick around. It may be 6 months, it may be a year, but they will go. Life will continue. They'll be heavily guarded. They'll keep you away from them. You won't know what is happening.
Excitement is not part of it. I just witnessed how they arrived at the airport, the way they were taken.
And that's the way it's going to be.
These are not the refugees we are used to.
No, not at all.
This is another brand, though definition is the same.
These are not struggling Afghans. They're not peasants. They're not poor. They're not illiterate. So these are very much middle-class Afghans who definitely have a future ahead of them that is secured by the West because they did them well on the other side of the world. They translated for them. They provided all these services that enabled the foreigners to stay put in Afghanistan for the last 20 years. So these people are not, they are not the pitiable variety. I think we think that these are struggling people from Kandahar. It is not so. But the long and the short is that these people escaped not 1 minute too soon. You know their assault on Kabul airport. Yesterday, I think it was. At least 60 people have lost their lives in that assault. that has been long in coming. I said, I think here a week ago, that without any fear of contradiction, Afghanistan will return to war in the shortest possible time. It is coming to pass. Bloodshed is going to spill again in Afghanistan because that is their way of life. As soon as you take power, someone returns to the bush and continues, and so shall it be.
Well, Rachel has given us the picture of actually what is happening, but Ivan, we know that Uganda, we are #1 on the African continent, 3rd in the world when it comes to hosting refugees, and this is something we pride in. However, this could be slightly different from what we are used to. But then one would wonder, she's talked about some of the benefits of hosting these refugees, but as a country, don't you think that maybe we've reached a point where we should also prioritize the lives of Ugandans in terms of these areas where refugees are? When you go to some of these camps, you just see the imbalances.
Yeah, I read some write-up yesterday. The Ugandans who were confident to remain in Afghanistan and others were taken to the US. There were about 10.
And that is also confusing because we had a time where we said we don't have Ugandans in Afghanistan because what we had were people working in guarding security installations, and by the time USA moved out, these were contractors. They had moved with these Ugandans.
Yeah, and to me the critical thing, the fact that they have talked about these Ugandans, it means government is thinking about them. If there are others still there, then most probably they will be returned back to their home country if they so wish. But realistically, when you look at the number, it's 51 Afghans. It's not that kind of scary. But
you're expecting 2,000.
Yeah, but now when we look at the 2,000, you see, the fact that US is going to finance their stay here in Uganda, that's all okay. But what we're talking about, that look at the basic needs of anyone in Uganda, most probably in the central business district, Kampala. Look at the health facilities, you know. So it means that 2,000 people are going to compete with Ugandans who are accessing health care. This is very critical. And I, for one, believe that this is one among the stretch that we may have as a country. Someone may not look at it now, but it would really be a very big challenge. These people have been in a setting that is far different from Uganda in terms of climate change, the setup, and how they respond to certain diseases. The temperatures here are quite totally different. So you find there will be a lot of issues that really perhaps need to be handled. Regardless whether they are in first class or middle class or peasants and etc., I think it should have continued to be a norm that once you receive refugees, you're supposed to take them in an isolated place where you can protect them very well and provide any form of service that they need. But rather than note them, for example, if someone gets sick from that hotel, where are you going to take them in hospital? Either you will go to private hospitals and etc. But to me, I think, in other words, it will remain an inconvenience. It is good to talk about the country because public relations is quite very critical. But sometimes we need to talk about these kind of realities. So if you have many other refugees, these Afghans are not the first refugees Uganda is receiving. We have from Burundi, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and even DR Congo. We have over 1,000 refugees who are taking off from ADF in Congo. They are in Bundibujo. It is quite critical. So these are not the first people, and we shouldn't be excited. But every refugee who comes into the country, they are confined in a certain key area. I was watching news yesterday on the international scene. Many countries that are hosting Afghans are actually worried that this specific category of Afghans is going to create insecurity in their country. In Uganda, it's a different thing. Having such people in the capital city, if you look what the fears being talked about at the international scene, it is quite a little bit disturbing. If they're in the heart of the country, Kampala, if anyone has an interest in these Afghans, then most probably anything can be detrimental. So that's why we need to take them further away from the population, so that if there is any interest in them at the international scene, then most probably the population is not affected.
Well, we've just received 51. We await for the government plan, and of course you must accept the nature or the image we have as about refugees. Previously, previous experience has shown, these are people we put in isolated places, there are camps,
Yeah.
then we have the education, we have the health facilities. But remember, these are on a temporary basis, and we are told they're in transit. So maybe this explains why they're being handled in
6 months.
in this manner.
6 months
from
cannot
now,
be temporary. That's not
it's a bit temporary because we had
No.
refugees that now even have a tribe. Have you heard of the Bavandimwe?
Even 20 years.
Even
They've been
20 years.
We have been here 20 years.
Yeah, so these ones, we hope that they'll respect that temporary agreement that is there. So if they're in transit, we just hope. And we wait to see when more arrivals come. Are they still going to be in hotels? Are they going to have gazetted places? So it's still a bit early to know the end, to come to the tail end of it. But also another story that also is dominating is the COVID-19 relief. And I want to start with you, Rachel. Here we had 100,000. Given specific categories of people were stated that those whose earnings are daily and are being affected by the lockdown. Yes, the money, some received it after at the end of the 42 days. But now what is coming out is that there were irregularities, and some of these are shocking. A person receiving 5 times, that is 500,000.
Kirabo, I don't know about your capacity for shock, but mine is pretty good. So to me, it is not shocking in any way. I have spoken many, many times about shabby execution of government initiatives, poor handling of simple things. The basics cannot be taken care of. So I wonder how you expect as a nation to be able to handle sophisticated operations. That is why and I say this with sorrow of heart, operations such as the hosting of these Afghan things, of these Afghan people, or many of the refugees that we talk about, many of them from DRC or from South Sudan, many of those things go rather smoothly because there is heavy intervention of foreign forces, mostly the UN.
Though sometimes they have also exposed us to the Prime Minister.
True, exposed you.
Exposed us,
but
how we are unable to.
It is sad that as a country, the things that we do as ourselves are usually shabby, tacky, unpalatable. So it is not surprising in any way. I talked about accidental relief workers, accidental administrators, accidental teachers. People are merely passing through. No one is very, very serious about what they are doing. They don't pay attention. They really don't care. There is no accountability. There is no enforcement of the rules and regulations. So this impunity is present everywhere, all the time, and under all circumstances. So this is just the latest.
Ivan, I want to take you on what can be done. When the president was, remember the swearing in of ministers at Kololo ceremonial grounds, one of the areas he talked about was fighting corruption. We saw the Prime Minister, after taking on, we had blankets, nets returned, and also she was so strict regarding quality, service delivery in the fight against corruption. Now you have this becoming a problem. We also hear of many of these cases. How can we end this continuous mismanagement?
I think what even escalated that kind of conversation was the fact that they found out the first person to receive the COVID relief was actually relative to a certain cow. And I was wondering, how do you define someone who is vulnerable? Kirabo, if a person takes their time to go and register to get that money in that regard, I would say that person thinks if he or she deems is vulnerable, then he is. There are people who are okay. They registered and got the money and sent the money to their other people who are in need. So it is quite very critical. I do not, lock my eyes on the fact that we really have shabby executions, as Rachel has said, and this is one thing we need to do with. I think as we implement...
How do you deal with this? Because it seems this is a cancer we've failed to treat for a long time.
The quickest option to deal with the 53 billion? The quickest option to deal with that specific aspect was, one, you needed to send money and get feedback that I have received the money. And how do you do it? There are many people who use telecom providers. They send you that message whereby you just need to reply yes, no, others, or you explain your case in this regard. So I think as this money was being sent to these people, you should have given them that message, that prompt message where they can give you feedback that I have received. For the people receiving money 5 times, I have 3 lines One is in the other name, one is, 3 names, but all the lines are mine. So if you go and register, when you go with the person who has a national ID, others have photocopies. There was no testing whether this national ID is genuine or duplicate and etc. So that is why, as government continues to be smart, the population is also smarter. So what do you need to do? You need to always sit back and calculate your moves very well. This could have been avoided in that regard, and I really feel sorry in that aspect. But Kirabo, sometimes we really have to move on. The 42 days lockdown was done, they lifted it. Let's think about some other aspect. To me now, opening education institutions.
Well, Parliament is soon,
the
task force that went to investigate, soon going to release a report on the findings of what happened with this money.
They should concentrate on the massacre murders now.
But you see,
it's something that...
As we're getting to that finally...
They're not useful.
But you see, you know why I say they're useful? Because we've had reports and not followed them up. That is why people have known that you can do this and go away with it.
So why do you say they're useful if they have not been followed up?
So we need to follow them up, hold people accountable, then this whole thing will come to an end. Finally, in a minute or two, we are looking at the massacre murders. And I'll start with you, Ivan, briefly, where we have seen in 2 months, 20 people hacked to death.
I think now we are on the mercy of security, our security. Because what is the intention? Someone just comes and kills people? Are we saying this is these are similar incidents that happened during the Chidawalime? Exactly. Are they, but the Chidawalime after, what's her name? That lady who spoke when the president was speaking, after she gave us the story, then we realized the other ones were more organized criminals, but using machetes, they even had guns and etc. But this thing escalating now, it raises a little bit of question. And remember, this is where the leader of opposition hails from. So I think it's really very bad. It's not good to lose Ugandans at that. And even the people they are killing, you wonder what kind of interest do you have in a 78-year-old woman who is at home alone? Why do you go and just kill them? So I think security needs to come out and make it clear, though I am confident something is really being done.
Yes, the big question now is when. It is very disturbing when a murder is committed today, the following day, the other day, no break, and people are asking, where is security?
I think more than that. I think the cancer that has taken hold in this country is that the citizens of this country, many of them, no longer care about the consequences of their actions. That is a very dangerous place. That is why people keep stealing without fearing the consequences. These people know that eventually, because the security of this country has proven under President Museveni, that they eventually catch up with whoever endangers the security of this country. They have that capacity, and they will. But these people, they really don't care. They intend to do this harm until whenever. People have become cynical. Our people are sarcastic. What has happened to the people of this country that they really don't care? That is where the problem really is. And I have said variously that the curriculum of this country, for example, needs to be revisited so that our children are rehumanized. The circumstances of this country have dehumanized us over years. People no longer value human life. They don't value their dignity. They don't value society. The fabric of this country is in severe stress.
When I call her the lady of morals, that is what I mean, that she really gives you that picture of where we went wrong. There's so much that we need to do regarding the moral fabric, but I'll call upon our citizens, most of residents in these areas, Greater Masaka, please, you also have to improve vigilance. There's so much that we used to depend on in this country that we've long put under the carpet. For example, when I was growing up, you could hardly enter a village, spend a night without going to the LCs. People were concerned about one another. People would wonder, I've met somebody I don't know in this community. Let me alert the police. So we need to go back to those simple, but yet yielded so much to us. And of course, for security, there is so much. We know you'll come to the end of this. But I think the residents are still demanding for more. You know, even police visibility is very important. When a crime is going to be committed and maybe someone meets a police officer. So we need more deployments in this area. And when they work together, they have to let's have some visibility. So I think this is something that we also want to improve. I was listening to one of a friend of the victims and said, I noticed some people trailing my friend. I just, maybe they are murderers here. I better go back. So if you have this vigilance, you know, we need to, I think there is so much that has to be done, and also police to do some more of deployment. But your last shot, Ivan.
In my village, the nearest police post where you can go and do something, it's about 12 kilometers. So sometimes when we are talking of these things, we need to look into the reality of rural setups. Even you can spend almost 7 months without ever seeing a patrol. This is my own village, not that deep, but it's a little bit tricky. The deployment aspect in Kampala, where we are used to seeing these officers, the picture is quite different. Even network on phones and other aspects that prevent locals in rural setups to even notify the Uganda police, it is quite very critical. So I think I agree with you when you say Ugandans need to, you know, need to come up, they need to reinstate what they used to do before, reporting to the LC, being your neighbor's watchdog. It's quite very critical if you are to fight this kind of insecurity.
Evan Takali, your last shot regarding this, the massacre issue.
I beg to digress, and I'd like to, of course, end my submissions this morning by returning to the subject of the late Lokech. I think for Ugandans, for the first time in quite a while, there's been a unity of thought concerning the fallen gentleman. I think as Ugandans, we are desperate for decent pictures of what a public figure should be. The people of Acholi are mourning not the person of Lokech, but the picture of what Lokech could have restored to the fabric of Acholi. You know that the people of Acholi had suffered the indignity of having sons such as Kony and Lakwena, who really tarnished their image and cast them as a brutal and unfriendly people. But Lokech had since reinvigorated the picture that decency is also part of Acholi culture, and the people of Uganda also recognize that being a public figure does not amount to being a disgrace and dishonorable. This particular man has been spoken of in glowing terms, not just in terms of his professional capability, but also as his humanity. Of course, he had his faults, his downside, but I think the collection of a country in mourning this particular man, people from all kinds of parts of this country, shows that people are desperate for real heroes. Forget about trumped-up heroes. Forget about forcing heroes who force themselves on us. This was a man who was known to be quiet and work in the shadows. His work spoke for him. The people of Uganda are crying out for people of similar caliber.
Well said, Takali. And actually, I was watching some of the footage coming in, and people are saying he did not even steal a spoon of land, anybody's land. He wasn't involved in this. So they were using a man as a yardstick for what a leader should be. Well, he'll be buried today, and that is in Patel district. All we can say, may his soul rest in eternal peace. But we'll also be looking at some of the stories in the dailies this morning, and I'll begin with the New Vision, where there is a big headline there: Teachers COVID-19 Jab Center names. Okay, the centers have been named there, where teachers can go and get their jabs. Then also the man that we've just been talking about, who will now be laid to rest today, is Lokech's last journey, 5 pages tribute. Indeed, you deserve that. We also look at in the education sector, there is Senior 5 Physics, Economics, Senior 1 English and Chemistry. Also remembering today, who are remembering Evergreen, the late Eddie Wamala. And also the New Vision still brings you Cracking the Whip. 475 landowners summoned over illegal land titles. These are things that Rachel says she's never shocked regarding that. Well, coming back to the Daily Monitor, now we have suicide bomber targeting Lokech's burial arrested. Well, we want to thank our security for that. And we have vigilantes draft to fight Massacre gang. Okay, we see what are they coming up to ensure that they fight this gang terrorizing people in Massacre. And there's so much fare thee well. That is actually leaders resolve to build hospital in memory of General Lokech. We live and die, but what remains is our legacy, what people will remember of us, and the fruits therefore will follow us long even before we are gone. On the scoop, a brand 10 years of building a fashion dream, but also the Daily Monitor looks at that is brewing for Uganda since 1946. That is which company has been doing that. Then the Lizard, as usual, comes up with something. Maybe generals don't understand gangs. Regarding the massacre. The Lizard, that cartoon there, maybe generals don't understand gangs. But we know it may take some time, but they will come to the end of that. And still regarding tribute to the foreign general, appoint him to full general. That is one of the requirements. Streets are to be named after him and more of that. We now look at what the Daily Nation has for us this morning. A man under pressure. Who is that? Elections are near and there's so much happening in our neighborhood, that is Kenya. It's not over. Uhuru Raila take, that is BBI, building the bridge case to the Supreme Court. It's not yet over. And police mentor test all officers to be assessed in a bid to address suicide. Oh, this is in Kenya. Test them mentally. Okay, still we'll look at more in the Daily Nation there. University lecture to strike, that is from Monday. But these and more, if you get yourself a copy, we just give you a hint to ensure that you're well versed with what is happening in the world of current affairs and the papers. But remember, it is Special Friday. Music is what we give you more to ensure we spice up your mornings. I see the Lady of Weather also ready to give us more of the updates of how the day is going to be and what you need to know regarding weather and climate. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
Keep your eyes on the prize, eyes on the prize, eyes on the dream, eyes on the dream, eyes on the scene, eyes on the scene, eyes on the scheme. You gon' need eyes behind your back to see who's got your back. Who's got your back? As a matter of fact, maybe want your own back. Who you looking at? Who's looking at you? Blinded by love, maybe you need a better view. All eyes on you, all eyes on you. These eyes on you, these eyes on you. World's eyes on you, world's eyes on you. So what you gon' do? So what you gon' do?
Readjust your vision for an all-new season of Big Brother Naija on Go TV. Rated 18.
This is a nice one also from Collins. Thank you very much for being a part of this show, and for all of you, Good Morning Uganda family, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Well, we want to take a look at what is over our skies this morning. We're looking at satellite images across Uganda, and those are showing mostly clear skies across much of the country. And I can tell you, we do have clouds that are also starting to develop, and those will be bringing us rains across different places within the country, mostly the Elgon region, which is expected to have those rains come through as the day progresses. But for now, most parts of the country are dealing with mostly clear skies. We do have mostly a sunny morning across northern Uganda and also parts of the Karamoja region. West Nile still having most of those clear skies, but we do see clouds that are starting to develop from the eastern part of Lake Victoria Basin, as well as the Mount Elgon Highlands, and those are the ones that will be bringing us rains across that area. But we're also looking at very clear across the lake. This is usually where we also get our rain system, but for now it is quite clear. You see some of the clouds that are starting to develop, likelihood of having rains later across this area, especially to the western part of Lake Victoria and also across southwestern Uganda, but most of those will clear as the day goes ahead. Now we will continue to look at our forecast for different areas this morning and see how the weather is going to look like for the day. Well, we start off with central northern Uganda, where we have Adjumani, Kitgum, Padel, and also Gulu. We are looking at a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures will be at a warm 28 degrees centigrade. More from the eastern part of central, we have Ruwero, Wobulenzi, Nakase, Kebururi. We are forecasting a mix of clouds and sunshine as well. Temperatures are starting off at 26 degrees centigrade. We do expect those to go up by the end of the day, and mostly sunny conditions throughout the day. Well, eastern Uganda, we have Soroti, Katakwi, and Amuria. We're forecasting still a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures expected to be at a nice 27 degrees centigrade. Now, the central parts of Lake Victoria, we have Kampala and Tebe, Wakiso. We do expect those light rains to come through over a few places, also starting off with a pleasant 26 degrees centigrade. The eastern part of Lake Victoria Basin still dealing with those cloudy conditions, but we do see sunny skies, meaning that we will have mostly sunny intervals for that area, and temperatures are forecasted to be at 26 degrees centigrade over there. We will see more clouds developing in the afternoon for the eastern part of Lake Victoria Basin, including also the central part of the country, and that might bring us rains later in the day. But for now, I can tell you, do enjoy your morning. It is looking quite clear for most areas. You can't complain about the weather this morning, unless, of course, you don't like the sunset or the sunrise in your area, but also that weather is looking to be more prospective in the afternoon. Well, I'll leave you at that. We still have more coming. We have music, so do stick around. My name is Molin Kenyana, and I want to wish you a blessed weekend as well.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday.
again, it's a big if. Will he still remain a legend? I think legendary is according to what he has achieved. Okay. What he might achieve at City may not even be as big a contribution to who he is as a player right now. But also the fact that any time now we are having Messi coming through for PSG. Can't wait for that appearance, his debut appearance. But GoTV is sponsoring our sports update here on Good Morning Uganda, and that should be an exciting thing for you and I, Ruben. What are the services that we can actually enjoy from GoTV?
No.
Channels that are there, so subscribe today. And actually the packet has been dropped to an affordable price of about 25,000 shillings, which is something you can part away with in such a time as this COVID-19. Thank you so much, Ruben, for that COVID update. You've said Chelsea is winning the Liverpool game, right?
Yeah, the Chelsea might beat Liverpool. That will be on Sunday. And City will beat Arsenal tomorrow.
Okay, if it doesn't happen that way on Monday, I shall collect my money.
It's okay. I'll be here to give you the money.
Okay, all right. Andereya still with us here on Good Morning Uganda. We are having Special Friday coming to a roundup, and we had an engagement on our agenda earlier on with Robert and Rachel and Ivan. They talked about the refugee and the state of refugee and how, as Uganda, we're responding to it vis-a-vis how other countries are responding to it. Andereya did share that you have actually done a project where you worked with some people that were trying to paint a picture of a refugee paradise in that regard. What was that project about exactly?
Yeah, the project was by Aaron Goris from Netherlands, and it was about showing how Uganda is good to refugees, how they're given some land to do some farming, they're given space to live, and yeah.
Okay, and you turned that into a song.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay, so as you do that song for us and give us your finale, grand finale this Friday morning, how can people follow your music?
Okay. Hello. Good morning, Uganda. This is Andereya Baguma, singer, songwriter, and guitarist. You can find my music on all music stores, digital music stores, that is Spotify, Tidal, there are very many. There's so many, I can't mention all of them, but you can just type Andereya Baguma, and the name is, as you see it on your screen, Andereya Baguma. And you can also find me on my YouTube. Subscribe. There's a lot of awesome performances that will take away the lockdown stress and any kind of stress that you might have. Yeah, you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah, shout outs to the music, the Twitter family, Joyful, who made today's repertoire, the playlist that I was playing for you, my brother Clapton Baguma, and my mother. Yeah, and everyone watching. Okay, all right, and for everyone else that is watching us, good morning, and thank you so much for sending us your sunrise pictures. It's been a wonderful week. The month of August is coming to an end, but as it's coming to an end, it's giving us yet a new beginning. As September is coming through, it's something for you to go back on the drawing board and ensure that you rewrite your own song. Andereya doing the refugee song is called? Mbasabira. Mbasabira. Okay, but then also your album is named after you, and you have a song that is in your name. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's first do this.
Mbasabira, mbasabira.
mbasabira 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 omusana muli wegugwa omwezi negwimuka ng'emitima gibewuuba nga gibatyemuka tebamanyi kyakuzaako tebamanyi kyakuddako mbadduka bikompola n'amasasi ensobi z'abo bakulembera mbadduka bikompola n'amasasi ensobi z'abo bakulembera mbasabira 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 mufune emirembe mbasabira 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 mufune emirembe Uganda mbebaza mbebaza mwebale kuyamba abantu abo abanonya obubudamu yadde amazzi matono naye era banywa emmere tumala naye era balya tubaniriza ewaffe tubaniriza tubaniriza Uganda tubaniriza mbasabira 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 mufune emirembe mbasabira 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 mufune emirembe ab'esudani mwab'esudani namwe ab'esomaliya Somalia, Abafagani, Afagani, Congo, Bami Masabira, Bami Masabira, Bami Masabira. Okay, I'll give you my last song. Andereya. I have an album out called Andereya, and this song is titled Andereya. So just go on your Google and Google the song. Mpitibwa Andereya nsula wali mu kiyembe neyanjula njagala mmanye nkumanye oli mulungi nkutya naye nkwagala wanyiriridde mu kagoya kakabbulu olinga omusana ogwakaboneka gye bakuzaala enjuba gyesibuka erinnya lyo n'ennamba nyamba mbifune njagala just onfuula omwami wo nze kuba nkwesunga nnyo nnyo nze nkwegomba nnyo nze muli nkwesunga nnyo nnyo nze nkwegomba nnyo nina obugoye ntera nange okunyuma nkusuubiza obutakuswaza mu banno totya bambi ebinyiza simanyi njakufuba nga nkolenga ebyo ebisanyusa sekamuba oti nengere fyuca yange nkwatako wano omutima guterere ziramu nno ne wooba ng'onvuma naye bw'osirika neeraliikirira ng'ate nkwesunga nnyo nnyo nze nkwegomba nnyo nze muli nkwegomba nnyo nnyo nze nkwesunga nnyo ngambaro najja ngambaro itakuwano ngambaro najja ntege nesala obuwero nze ngambaro najja ngambaro itakuwano ngambaro najja ntege na 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 kyokka nkwesunga nnyo nnyo nze nkwegomba nnyo nze muli nkwesunga nnyo nnyo nze nkwegomba nnyo bitibwa Andereya nsuula wali mu kiyembe Thank you very much. Andereya Baguma.
All right, Andereya Baguma, thank you so much. That song is actually a very nice love ballad. Kwesunga ngamba rogendo kujja nesala obuwero. Okay, all right. Someone is asking, do you have a song from your own language, being the fact that you're Mnyankore?
I have a song called Mukahangare.
And also Kahunde, I think. And
Kahunde is Uganda, Lutoro, and English. Yeah, so I have songs, and I have local which has Nyankore in it.
All right. Well, we're definitely going to host you again to give us those particular songs. Good Morning Uganda Special Friday does come to an end, but you do have Good Morning Uganda Extra coming through Pan-African Friday for 2 hours. Jagenda Semakula and the lads, I don't know what they've won today, but whatever it is, it's surely inspirational. It also will have a lot of conversations about Zambian presidency that has been sworn in. We also do have the case in Mali that has just happened, given that right now they have an interim government. They are waiting for official polls for a next government, but so many things are cropping up in terms of corruption and in that political turmoil. Nevertheless, we will be back here on Monday. So to find out more about Good Morning Uganda, you can follow us on our Twitter page here in UBC, which is at UBC TV Uganda, and we shall be always ready to receive you for every update between now and the next time we meet. It will be on our Twitter platform, but you can also go back, rewind for today's show and other shows for the entire week on our YouTube channel, which is UBC Television Uganda, and you'll be able to catch up on all the conversations, the dialogues, and the analysis that we have had. Okay, so we are done and dusted. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful Friday, Saturday and Sunday. God bless you and God keep you, but also stay safe.